All right.
Okay.
So I'm going to start it, but don't worry about it being started.
Okay.
Just
I'm Catherine, and I'm going to cut up a peach. The first thing to do when you cut up a peach is smell it, because peaches smell amazing. And they're in the rose family, and they even have a slight scent of a rose. They sometimes smell a little bit like tropical fruits, but I think peaches just have their own scent. But really just enjoy that nice peach scent. And then I love just the way peaches feel with all that down. But the overall shape of a peach is a little misleading. We think of peaches as sitting in this position, which is of course the way they hang on the tree. But when they originated from the flower, they would have been upright like that, with the petals coming up around the fruit like this, because the fruit, being a fruit, originated from an ovary, which is at the center of the flower. You can see on this side here the place where the stem was attached, and if there were any flower parts still clinging to this fruit, which you sometimes see on very young fruit, you would see them right around in a ring right around here. But we can't really see that. If you turn the peach over, however, you can see this little point at the very top, and that is where the stigma of the ovary was. That's where the pollen grains landed to fertilize the egg that started this whole fruit developing in the first place. Okay, so now that we sort of understand the outside of the fruit, oh, and this is what is called the suture, technically, among the people who study these fruits. Okay, so now I'm going to cut into it. A peach is a kind of fruit that we loosely call a stone fruit. That is kind of a kitchen term. It's not a technical term. We call it a stone fruit because of this stone in the middle, or pit. Botanically, however, it's what's known as a drupe, D-R-U-P-E. A drupe is a fleshy fruit, and you can see how gorgeous and fleshy, look at that juice, how gorgeous and fleshy this fruit is. It's a fleshy fruit that has in the center not a seed, but a hard layer surrounding the seed. Okay, so a drupe has flesh, hard layer, and then the seed. There are other drupes, like
almond.
well, an almond is a drupe, but also an olive is a drupe. If you break an olive pit, you find a seed inside there.
Does the almond actually have a fruit around it that's thrown away?
Yeah. It looks like a very thin, green, kind of tough peach when it's mature. But yeah, you can see how this peach pit looks a little bit like an almond shell. If you buy almonds in the shell, they look a little bit like this, usually a lighter color, a little bit less ridgy. And we're going to get into that in a second. But let's first look at the flesh. And this is a free stone peach, meaning that the stone comes out of it very easily. Sometimes there are cling peaches where you have to cut the flesh away from the pit. But one of the things to notice is all of these little almost strings kind of running in towards the center. I'll lift one up here. Another one here. They're lighter. They even actually look slightly stripy. If your eyes are good, you can see. Those are veins, vascular tissue running in towards the pit to supply the pit with energy from the parent plant. You can see that they all kind of originate from here. And so here are some pliers, always handy to have in the kitchen. Whoa.
That's hard.
Try it. Sometimes they're broken in the fruit, Oh, okay. So you can see a little bit where the seed was, but I was hoping not to have to do it this way, but I think we just have to do it this way. There we go.
Yeah, that actually made it easier to see too.
Did it?
So,
Okay.
spill it.
Now that seed is all dried up, so I'm going to do a couple more and just see if we can get a good seed.
What's that one?
There we go. Look at that. Check that out.
Wow, it's just like an almond.
Looks just like an almond. One of the interesting things about plants in this part of the rose family is that they make a compound called amygdalin, which is a cyanogenic glycoside. It makes cyanide. So this one's a little bit crushed, but you can see it.
Is cyanide blue?
Cyanide will turn you blue because it will.
Ah, I never knew what the origin of that was.
Yeah, it'll.
But that's what that weird peach blossom smell is. That's like cyanide. When you're making marzipan, you need one bitter
almonds.
You,
that's
we'd
exactly
get them mailed,
it.
and they last 20 years from Germany.
Yeah. You want to taste it?
Sure.
It's bitter and it tastes like a cherry.
I'm dying.
Isn't that good?
Do not attempt this in your own home.
You would not want to eat an entire cup of this, but it's perfectly safe to eat one. You should, when you're cutting up a peach, or if you find a pit that's already open, you should take out the seed, break it open, and at least smell it, and see if you don't smell that lovely marzipan smell.
All right.
All right, that's how you cut up a peach.
So can I ask you some questions now?
Mm-hmm. Do
Okay.
you want a piece of peach? Look at that juice. Incredible.
we're going to teach you how to properly cut a pineapple. First, you want to take the pineapple and you want to look at it, you know. You want to make sure it's right by squeezing it. You're looking for something that's not too firm, something that bounces back, you know. This is a perfectly ripe pineapple. I'm going to cut off the stem. You know, you can either throw this away or you can actually grow a pineapple plant with this. So we're going to keep this to the side. We'll save that for another video maybe. I'm going to cut off the bottom. And then you want to proceed to fillet the pineapple, like so. Try not to cut off too much skin, you know, and if you do, you can always go back and munch on them. Just cut around. Fix up those patches of skin. This looks pretty clean right now. And you want to remember that the pineapple has a core right in the center that's inedible. So you just want to cut right through that core. Quarter it, and then go ahead and cut that core right out. Here you have your beautiful pineapple flesh. There you go. These are delicious and healthy. Very cheap. Here you go, Wissam. Thanks, bro. Mmm.
perfect way to cut an orange into bite-sized pieces. There's the orange. You cut it like this. Then in half. Then you get this half and cut that in half. Get this half and cut that in half, and there you have bite-sized pieces.
Having regularly sized slices is essential for an apple pie or tart to cook evenly. The easiest way to do this is to start by holding the apple on its flower end. Slice directly down one side, coming as close to the core as possible without actually getting to any of the core. Place the apple flat on the cut surface, then cut off the remaining 3 sides, rotating the apple as necessary. Then discard the core. Holding one piece cut side down with your free hand, carefully cut it into slices, using the knuckles of your free hand as a guide. Repeat this with all of the apple pieces and cook immediately to avoid discoloration.